For those of you who've already done analytical, this is more of a revision for you guys. And I'm going to be showing you some interesting things where we got where we get analytical geometry put together with Euclidean geometry, and it's very important for us to know what to do with those kinds of questions. So we're going to be diving into that in a little bit more detail. All right. And like Abu, I had no doubts. Nobody, not a single one of us had doubts that you would get an A for your trig test. I mean, you were just that smart, my dude. So I'm like, well done, you, but we had no doubts. I did not have a single doubt in my mind. I won't even lie. Well done. Nicely done, dude. Well done. Okay, let's jump into analytical geometry. Yes, do it. Let's do it. All right. Okay, so analytical geometry actually comes up when we talk about things like coordinate geometry. Okay, so many of you guys usually ask your teachers like, oh, ma'am, when am I ever going to use maths in everyday life? Ma'am, another day and I never had to use algebra at the store. I know. We say that to our teachers all the time, right? It's like, oh, ma'am, what am I going to use? What am I going to use sine, cos, SOHCAHTOA for? Nobody ever says that. Analytical geometry is the one section where we can say, I can show you exactly where you use this. Because if you've ever used the GPS or if you've ever used Google Maps on your phone, then it was probably using the satellites that are up in the sky just outside of the Earth, and they use coordinate geometry, which is a form of analytical geometry. So a lot of the stuff that we get, you know, your topographical maps, if you do geometry and geography, all of that kind of stuff, the way we map out the world, where the equator is exactly, all of that is mapped out using things like analytical geometry, which we call coordinate geometry, but it's about the same. Okay, so analytical geometry, very, very useful. So if you ever want to work for Elon Musk, let's say, for instance, you want to go work SpaceX, or you want to go work at NASA, a lot of the calculations that you need to do in order to learn the trajectory of rockets and stuff comes from coordinate geometry and a bit of physics. There's a lot of physics and chemistry and everything, but a lot of the way we map out the world is because of this. All right, shall we get started? Let's start today with the distance formula. So we're going to learn about the distance formula. If you would like, please take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of the distance formula or write it down. We're going to be using it today. It's quite important that we understand where it comes from. So I'm going to be showing you guys where we're going to be using it. And I'm just going to change this example a little bit because it was a lot. All right, I'm going to make it 2, 4, and 3, 8, or -2, 4, and 3, 8. Let's do that. All right, I'm seeing people writing. I'm going to give everybody else 10 seconds, and then I'm going to move. All right, are we ready, folks? Okay, now before we continue, I want you guys to have a look at the distance formula. When you're looking at it, does it look familiar? Have we seen something like the distance formula in maths somewhere before? Looks like a bus. Well, not a bus. Okay, V says yes. Sanele also says yes. It does kind of look like the gradient a little bit, but squares and the square root of something. That's it. Yes, Narisha. This looks a lot like Pythagoras, doesn't it? Okay, I mean, if we remove the minus and the x1 and the y2s, this actually looks a little bit like Pythagoras. It would look like x squared plus y squared is equal to the distance squared, something along those lines. And to get rid of the squared, we would just take the square root. Okay, is it a must to write the equal sign? Because my teacher said we shouldn't write the equal sign. Which equal sign? This one. Do you mean this one? Fulani? Oh, okay. I'm absolutely going to go back on your teacher's word here. Yes, you do need to write it. Okay, I'm just going to say something because I don't think that we're all understanding the importance of an equal sign. Guys, the equal sign literally means that something is true beyond a doubt. True beyond doubt. Okay, that's what an equal sign means. It comes from a universal truth. Like if I say to you guys that 5 is equal to 5, that statement is true beyond a doubt. Okay, so when we use the equal sign, we need to make sure that we're understanding that we're saying that both sides are equal to each other. It's an equivalence. Okay, so we can't just not put it there. It's important that we do. Okay, it is important that we do. So I'm going to refute your teacher on that one. We're definitely going to make sure that we have it. All right, let's jump into the example over here. Okay, so the example says, calculate the distance between point A and point B. Now, if I look at these 2 points over here, I'm going to plot out point A. I'm going to go 1, -1, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, lovely. All right, so -2 and 4 would be over here. And 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 and 8 would be all the way up here. Okay, this is point A, and this is point B. This is 3, 8, and this is -2 and 4. All right, so if we wanted to find the distance from here to there, right, and I'll just put that in its proper place. If I want to find the distance from here to there, right, I know that I need to calculate a slant distance. So it's not as easy as me going vertically or me going horizontally. But if I were to do that, let's say, for instance, this is home and this is school. If I wanted to get to school, I couldn't jump all the buildings and all the parks and jump over all of them and get to school. No, I would use the road, right? So I would move from here and I would move down my street, and then I would take a left turn and then go up like that. All right. And that's where the 90-degree angle, the idea of the 90-degree or the Pythag of it comes in. All right. So if I extend this, all of this in that direction, what is the x coordinate that I'm looking at underneath here? What is the x coordinate over here, guys? Anybody got an idea for me? This is -2, -1. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. What would the distance between, or what would the x coordinate over there be? Correct, Pumazilo. It's 3. It's 3. Right. That is 3. Right. And what would the y coordinate over here be? What would the y coordinate be? It is 4. Well, in this case, it's 4, not 3.5. Ma'am just didn't know how to measure properly. Please don't judge ma'am for not measuring properly. Sorry, that should be where 4 is. Okay, guys, don't judge. Don't judge me. 2, 1. All right, so this point over here would be 3, 4. Thank you, Abu. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, so if we were to use this as a Pythagoras, if we were to use Pythagoras here, I would want the distance from here on this side up until there. How far would the distance from there to there be? It would be the distance between the two, right? From -2 to 0, that would be 2. And then from 2 to 3, that would give us 5 units. We would get 5 units over here, right? And on this side, from here to there, what would the distance from there to there be? How many units? From 4 to 8. I'm at 4. I'm at the y coordinate 4, and I go to the y coordinate 8. How many units is it from 4 to 8? It's 4 units, okay? Don't overthink it, Abu, okay? If I had to go from 4 to 8, I would get 4 units on this side. All right. Now, I can then use Pythag to find the value of AB, right? So when I look at the distance formula, what the distance formula is actually telling me is you are using Pythag to find the difference between the two numbers. We're finding the difference between the two numbers. So I'm going to say the distance of 3, the difference of 3 and minus 2. The difference between 3 and minus 2 plus the difference between my y values, 8, the difference between 8 and 4, all squared. So I'm basically doing the exact same thing that Pythagoras is doing, but we're just using the difference. And that is why the formula for the distance says the first x value minus the second x value, because we want the distance between the two of them, the difference. And the y values, the first y value minus the second y value, because we want the distance in between them. All right, so if I had to then figure out the distance of this, I would then go, the distance is equal to the square root of 3 plus 2 would give me 5 squared, plus 8 minus 4 would give me 4 squared. That's the same as the square root of 25 plus 16. This is not a very nice number. The square root of 36, 41. Hello, Omi, no worries. My answer would be the square root of 41. Okay, thumbs up. Does everybody understand where we get the idea of the distance formula? Yes? We're just using Pythag, but we're just finding the difference between the distances in each of them. Okay, and V, as you say that. Look, now I've typed Omi's name on the screen. All right, as you say that. We're going to come back to factorization in just a little bit. Okay, shall I give you an example? Do you guys want to try an example of your own? Yes? I'm going to make it an easy one. I'll make it an easy one. Let's do this one over here. Let's do number 9. Okay, number 9. So I like to do this because I know that the distance formula says the distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. I take these two coordinates that I have over here and I'm going to label them. So I'm going to call this x1 and y1, and I'm going to name this one x2 and y2. And then all I need to do is just plug in and find an answer. All right. And I know that some of you are fast. So if you finish 9, please try 10. You can also try 11 and 12 as well. All right. You do not have to draw the graph in this case, Narisha. You just need to find me the distance between the two values or the two coordinates. Okay. I'm just quickly going to run and get some water. I will be right back. All right, I've got quite a few, well, only 2 people done, so I'll give everybody else a chance to catch up. All right, and then we'll chat. Yes, please, Princess. Should we continue with 11 and 12? Yes, please. Okay, I'm going to give 1 more minute and then it will get started. All right. All right, peeps. Unfortunately, that's all the time I can afford you. All right, let's have a look at some of these answers. Okay, let's start with number 9, which is nice and easy. Right, number 9 is nice and easy. So they want the distance between AB. So I'm going to go AB is equal to the square root of, open brackets, then x2 is 6 minus 0 all squared, plus y2 is 8 minus y1, which is 0 all squared. Now, the nice thing about analytical geometry, nobody's going to bat an eye if you just take this and you punch it into your calculator, and you're going to get 100, the square root of 100, which is 10. All right, 10 units. No issues at all with number 9, right? Let's go to number 10. Number 10 is RS. So again, I'm going to label so I don't lose it. X1, Y1, and X2 and Y2. I want you guys to be very, very careful. If you are labeling, if you make this X coordinate X1, then you must make the corresponding coordinate Y1. So you can't decide that you want X1 and Y2. You cannot do that. So if you name this X1, you need to name this Y1 as well. And if you name this one X2, this also needs to be Y2. You cannot separate them. They come together. All right. Okay, so for number 10, I'm going to say RS is equal to the square root of X2, which is 3 minus negative 2, all squared, plus 15 minus 3. Correct, Narisha. It's a package deal. Correct. Okay, that is going to give me the square root of 3 plus 2, that is 5 squared, plus 15 minus 3 is 12 squared. 5 squared is 25 plus 144. It's going to give me the square root of 169, which is 13 units. Okay. Let me just double check. Just give me a yes or a no in the chat. Can I mark question 11 and 12? Yes, if you've done it. No, if you have not. Okay, just so I know where we stand with 11 and 12. Okay, Hulani says yes. How are we feeling? All right, I'm going to guess we've all done it. It's probably nice and easy to do. Cool. All right, let's do question 11. Right, 11 wants us to find mn. So I'm going to name this x1, y1, and this one x2, y2. And then I'm just going to sub in. Mn is equal to the square root of x2, which is 9, minus x1, which is 1 squared, plus x3, which is 13, minus negative 2, all squared, which is equal to the square root of 1 minus 9 is 8 squared, plus 15 squared, which is the square root of 289, which is 17 units. All right, and then the very last one, number 12. Number 12 is EF. Again, I'm just going to label X1, Y1, x2, y2. EF is equal to the square root of -9 minus -12. So that's plus 12 all squared plus 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2 all squared. If you punch that into your calculator, it'll give you -9 plus 12. That is 3 squared plus 4 squared. That'll give us the square root of 25, which is 5 units. All right. Thumbs up. How did we do? Out of 4, let's say a mark out of 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. How did we do? Lovely, 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 lovely. Theo even got 5. I like it. Okay, so this is nice and easy. Yes, we're comfortable with this. Yes, we're okay with this. Okay. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, Asanda and Dorcas, I think it is, if you're going to learn anything about Teacher Coco, is that it's never this easy. It's never this easy. This stuff is easy, but I'm going to challenge you guys now because I can't just leave you guys where you are. All right. Are we ready for a challenge, grade 10s? Yes? Are we ready? Let's go for it. All right, I'm going to show you guys how to do it, and then we're going to take it from there. But for now, I want you guys to stick with me in terms of the question that I'm about to show you. Let's think a little bit outside the box. Okay, I want us to focus on this question here. We're going to focus on this question here. Theo, what do you need to prepare? Do we need to say a seance? Do we need to call upon Jesus Christ himself? Do we need to do a little breathing exercise? Are we good? Can ma'am get into it? Push-ups. All right, so let's think about what they've told us in this particular question. Okay, it says here, the distance between the points 1, 2, and 16p is 17. So in this instance, where we would normally say something, the square root of something, something, something equals something, something, where we would get the answer that we would get is 17. They would give us the answer 17. Now, they want us to find the possible values of this coordinate over here, the possible values of P. Now, let's just ration this one out as we're going, because we've been given the answer. This is what I'm going to do. As always, I'm going to label. I'm going to start by going, this is x1 and y1, and I'm going to call this x2 and y2. All right, and then I'm just going to follow the steps that I normally would. I would go the square root of x2, which would be 16 minus 1 all squared plus, now my y2 in this case is p. So I would then get p minus 2 all squared. And all of this would equal how much? If I had to find the answer, what would my answer come out as in the end? My answer would be equals what? Equals 17. Good, Hulani, that's it, princess. So I would get equals 17. Now, the thing that I want to solve for is sitting inside here, which means I need to get rid of everything else. I want to get rid of everything else. And my final answer must say P equals something. Yes, correct, Abu. So we're going to start reversing the steps. First thing I want to get rid of is the square root. How would I get rid of the square root, guys? We would square it, correct. I would square this whole thing to get rid of the square root. But what I do on the left-hand side, I'm going to have to do on the right-hand side as well. So 17 also needs to get squared. All right, now the square and the square root will get rid of themselves, right? And over here on the inside, I'm going to have 16 minus 1 all squared. That will give me 15 squared plus. Now, I can't separate this. This still stays as p minus 2 all squared is equal to 17 squared. All right, now we can flesh out the numbers, but Let's look at what's happening on this thing over here. Thank you, Abu. That's the answer I was looking for on one side. Let's look at this p minus 2 squared. If I told you guys that I've got x minus 1 all squared, and I said simplify, what would you guys do? What would we do? I definitely wouldn't do this. Correct. I wouldn't do that. That's definitely wrong, right? What this tells me is I need to take this and x plus 1, x plus 1. Okay, one. Continue. All right. Sorry, my dogs are dressed so cute. Okay, my roommate is being silly. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this twice. Okay, so 15 squared will give me 225. Thank you, Abu. 225 plus, and then I'll get p minus 2 and p minus 2 is equal to 289. Now, I know that p times p is going to give me p squared. Agreed? And if I had something like this, I will show you. I will show you in just a little bit. X squared plus 5x is equal to 6. If I had to solve for this, if I had to solve for the quadratic, what would I need to do? What would I need on this side? I would need 0, correct. So I would bring this over to the side. So I'm going to take 289 and I'm going to bring it over to this side. Okay, while I'm doing FOIL, so I'm going to do many things at the same time. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of FOIL. I'm going to get p squared minus 2p minus 2p plus 4 plus this 225 that we have over here. And then this comes over and becomes minus 289 is equal to 0. Let's add like terms. Correct. Abu, you're taking the words out of my mouth, guy. All right. So p squared negative 2p minus 2p will give us negative 4p. And then 4 plus 225 minus 289 would give us what? Punch that into a calculator. Somebody give me an answer. 4 plus, that's 229 minus 289 should give us negative 60, I think. Negative 60. Minus 60 is equal to 0. And now it's a quadratic, right? It's a quadratic. So how would I solve for a quadratic? I'm going to open two brackets. And because V called it, you guys called it. You said Pythag and factorization. Factorization is always going to make a comeback. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to put P here. I'm going to put P there. And then I need factors of 60 that will subtract to find negative 4. What are my two values for 60? P what and P what? Good, V, absolutely. Negative 10 and positive 6. All right, so that means my two values for P, therefore, P is either equal to 10 or P is equal to negative 6. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are we that we can go through that by ourselves? 10 being super confident, 0 or 1 being, hi, ma'am, no, I don't know. Now for that 24-hour nap. Okay, that's okay, guys. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to leave this one. Okay, let me name them. I'm going to leave the answer to number 1 on the screen, and I'm going to ask you guys to do number 2. All right, we are following the exact same process. Okay. Yes, Pumzile, and I'll show you. There's another question that clearly states that the one side is greater than 0. That means then we have to discard one of the other answers. Okay, we'd have to discard the negative answer. All right, we're going to get to an example like that in just a bit. All right, so try question 2. And then pop your favorite emoji in the chat when you're ready. I'm going to see if I can steal one of my doggos to show you guys what they look like. Okay, I'll be right back. How's it going, guys? Are we winning? All right, peeps, let's have a look at these answers. Okay. All right, so I know I'm using the distance formula, and they've told me that the answer that I'm looking for is 15. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start by going the square root of, I'm actually going to start by labeling because I forgot to label x2, y2. All right, I'm going to get the square root of x2, which is q minus -3 all squared, plus the other bracket, I'm going to get 5 minus -4 all squared. And all of this is equal to 15. All of this is equal to 15. So I'm then going to square this whole side, and I'm also going to square this whole side to get rid of the square root. Right? So inside the bracket here, a negative and a negative will give me q plus 3 all squared, plus inside here 4 plus 5 plus 4 will give me 9 all squared is equal to 15 all squared. All right, and then I just need to take q plus 3 and open up two brackets. I'm going to open up two brackets, and I'm going to get q plus 3 and q plus 3 plus 81 is equal to 225. So I'm then going to get q squared plus 3q plus 3q would give me 6q plus 9 plus 81 minus 225 will equal 0. Okay, I'm just going to continue up here. I don't want to go away from the things that we're doing here. So I'm then going to get q squared plus 6q minus 9 plus 81 is 90. 225 minus 90 would give us 135 is equal to 0. And then I would open two brackets. Is equal to 0. Q and Q factors of 135 would be positive 15 and negative 9. Thank you. Q plus 15 and Q minus 9. Q minus Q, sorry. Q minus 9. Therefore, Q is equal to negative 15, or Q is equal to positive 9. How did we do, guys? Yay, did we win? Well done, Boucher. Nicely done. Nice, right? We learned something new today. All right, this is definitely a level 4 question. You need to be able to know what to do and make sure that we're doing it correctly. All right, can I give you one more to try on your own? I'm not going to show you any instructions on the screen. Okay, take it away. There's no more studying. Okay, there we go. There is your example. There is your example. Find the possible values of A if the distance between 2 points A and B is the square root of 50. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Pop your favorite emoji in the chat when you're ready. All right, peeps, let's have a look at the answer here. Okay, again, I'm going to go in, name this x1 and y1, name this x2 and y2, and then I'm going to use the distance formula. So the square root of a minus -1 all squared plus y2, which is 2 minus -3 all squared. And all of this is equal to the square root of 50. Right, to get rid of the square roots, I'm going to square root this side, and I'm also going to square root that side. So on this side, I'll end up with a plus 1 all squared plus 2 plus 3 will give us 5 all squared is equal to, now also on this side, the square and the square root will go away. So I will end up with 50 on this side. All right, so I'm then going to get a squared plus a plus 1 plus 25 minus 50 is equal to 0. I'm going to end up with a squared plus 2a, and then I'm going to get 1 plus 25, that's 26, minus 50 will give us -24 is equal to 0. So open 2 brackets is equal to 0. That'll give me a, and a factors of 24 that are going to give me +2 would have to be +6 and -4. Thank you, Abu. Good. Therefore, a is then equal to -6, or a is equal to +4. All right. Did we do okay? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well done. Nice one. Very nice, guys. Okay. All right. I want us to try one more where they are very specific about exactly what they want from us. Oh, Pumizila's like, easy. Give us something challenging. Huh? Wow. I like the enthusiasm. Okay, I like the enthusiasm. Okay, for now, I've only got a bit of an easy one. Okay, I'm going to drop it here, and I want you guys to give it a try. But have a look at the instructions carefully. Okay, the order in which we do these things will not change, but make sure you're reading the question properly. Okay, and in this particular case, I want you to DM me your answer. All right, find me the value of y, but I want you to DM me the answer, please. Okay. I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute. How are we doing? All right, peeps, that's all the time I can give you because we are running out of time. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing all over again, guys. X1, Y1, X2, Y2, as usual. Okay, the only difference is we're only going to be able to accept one answer. So I'm going to get -2 minus 4 all squared plus y minus 7 all squared is equal to root 45. Then we're going to square root both sides. Square root both sides. I should then get -2 minus 4 is -6 all squared plus y minus 7 all squared is equal to just 45. I'm going to rewrite this twice. I'm going to get 7 y squared minus 14y plus 49. And then this is going to become positive. I'm going to get plus 36 minus 45 is equal to 0. Okay, so y squared minus 14y. Then I've got 49 plus 36, or 49 minus that. That would give me plus 40. Agreed? 49 minus 45 will give me 4. 4 plus 36 will give me plus 40 is equal to 0. If I keep factorizing, I'm going to get y and y. Both of them will be negative. I would get factors of 40. That would give me 14, y minus 4, and y minus 10. Therefore, y is only equal to 10. Okay, we will not accept this answer. If you give both answers, you're not going to be able to get the mark because it says here, determine the value of y if y is larger than 5. So if you give them 2 answers, you better cross one of them out. So you need to say, or y is equal to positive 4, but you need to cross that answer out because it's not allowed. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you're allowed to do that, Abu. Okay, so make sure that you've crossed it out. Yo, Narisha, oh my goodness. All right. Okay, we're going to call it a day here.